Morning all. There you go, staring at a VMAX at the start of the video. Friday roundup. I'll try and do this as quickly as I can, but there's a lot to round up, so I'm probably going to fail. We have a lot of bikes in, as you can see. My plan to try and reduce the numbers has failed. I'm doing my best. RD500 engine is progressing along nicely. Getting ready to fit into the chassis, which you might have just saw in the corner of the video. Most of the water systems are on, the engine's back together, power valve systems back in. Progress. This ZRX came in yesterday. The customer noticed it had been chewing away at the edge of the clutch basket. The standard bike has a mechanism here where this arm that you can see maybe just there can come back and hit the clutch basket. Now so the customer researched it and found that there were some options, some aftermarket parts that you could put on to try and stop it doing it. I'm just trying to look for the one that he bought us, but I can't find it. John's been working on it yesterday, he's probably stashed it somewhere safe. But when we opened the casing up, we found it had already had one fitted. This isn't standard Kawasaki. This is an aftermarket billet unit that's been put on. This is better than the one that he bought to give us to put on. So we're going to leave that one alone. This damage here is obviously historic. It's happened before and somebody's fitted this unit to prevent it happening again. Current owner didn't know that had happened. When he looked down the oil filler plug here, he could just see this wear on top of here and he thought it was happening. So anyway, the casing's going to go back onto that and that bike is done. The KR, I might as well start with this 300. KR1S 250 standard bike, but it's now a 300cc. It's a Stan Stevens conversion, we found out. The owner who currently has it has bought it. He's done a few hundred miles on it and he now wants it checking. He bought it knowing that it had done a couple of hours running and he wants to make sure that the fueling's right and the ignition's all set up as it should be and things like that. We don't entirely know what the setup on the bike is yet, so we need to find that out. Now that the engine's in a state where it can go on the dyno and be rolling road tested, we can give it some runs and see what the power's doing and what the fueling's doing and make sure it's all safe for him to start going out and enjoying properly. Suzuki TR750 semi-replica, 750 kettle engine. The owner's done a really nice job of building this bike and making it about 5 years ago, but ever since he's done it, he's found it incredibly hard to start. So he's basically not started it much. Our job is to try and get that to start more easily and then just to set it up a bit. 3MA, I have done some work on this week with the plan of getting it straight on the dyno. It's got Mick Abbey pipes on it, some other little changes. Upside down front end, it's a 3MA1, which would normally have right way up forks. It's got an upside down front end off, not decided yet. Could be GSX-R 400. No, I don't think so. Maybe R1. Maybe one of the lacy Yamaha Rs. Anyway, unfortunately, the dyno we're doing some upgrades to with the fueling sniffer, and the upgrades aren't going to plan, so we're a bit behind on that because we can't get anything on the dyno just yet. This is the RD500 chassis, just sat there now on the ramp waiting for the engine as soon as it's done. Little Samurai 250, 67, something like that. We've taken the engine apart. The crank seals had gone. It was sucking gearbox oil into the chambers and burning it, so it was fouling the plugs up. We've taken the engine apart. The crank is going off to a chap. We found it difficult to find anyone that could rebuild a crank, but the owner did some research, gave us a number. The crank has gone to him to be rebuilt. VMAX. We've had a few of these through. Let's see, what was its problem? Power surging midway through accelerating. So he opens the throttle, it goes, and then it sort of stalls a bit, and then it goes again, which isn't very good when it's delivering that much power. You want it to be smooth and controllable. We're just going to look into that and try and find out why. So again, my plan is to put it on the dyno first, see what it's doing, and then attack. It's probably the wrong word when you're trying to fix things. Take it apart from there and try and work out what we need to do. But I'd like to get a base dyno run on it and see what the fueling's actually doing. It's likely that it's either running rich or weak halfway through the range and then it's having to catch up. Honda VF400. Very few of these around, I guess, anymore. Quite hard to keep going now as parts are getting a bit scarce. It's got a bit of a rattly top end. It sounds cam chainy, so the customer's asked us to have a look and find out. He's brought us in some spare cylinder heads and parts. Even gasket sets are difficult to get, but we'll start into that soon. The BMW K1100, this is actually done. This is ready to go out today. It's taken a lot of doing. I'll just see if I can find the key for it. So what we've been doing is taking off a really rather nasty display unit, MPH display unit, and fitting this Moto Gadget dash for it. It's quite a retro looking dash. Quite interesting really, the way it works. It's all little LED segments, but we've got all that bit working, everything on there. Oh, I use one of the buttons on the dashboard. You need to cycle through these options here, and to do it you need a press button. But this little unit here on the handlebar was originally the screen control for up and down. So I've just used the up function on that to be able to change these. So as you can see, it scrolls through your options, and you can change to the other clock by holding down, then you can go through those. So you can set it up in quite a lot of ways to show all sorts of information. We've set that up, done some other electrical work on the bike, sorted some bits and pieces out. That's ready to go. It's been through an MOT. CB1100RD is now done. We're just waiting for the customer to, we're going to arrange a date, he's going to come in, we're going to fit all the bodywork, which he still has, we just have the petrol tank here. So we're going to get all that back together, make it into a complete bike, but that is done. I mean, it is, I don't know, I hope it shows up in the video, just how shiny and clean and nice it is now after everything's been overhauled. It does run beautifully as well. We've had it running a few times. Engine sounds superb. Little RS125. Came in, the customer said it was vibrating a bit, and while he was riding it, he'd noticed the revs had started to climb, so he was worried about a crank seal maybe. It was the fuel tap sticking, so it was supplying the carburettor intermittently with fuel. So as the level in the fuel in the carb was dropping, the revs would go up because the engine was technically running weak. Oscar found that one pretty quickly. He just came to me and said, I don't think there's enough fuel getting through on this. We changed the tap, we ran it on the dyno for about 15-20 minutes to run it. We took the engine apart, because he said there was a vibration in there, and we thought it might be the gears on the balance shaft drive out of time. Turns out that we're in time, but they were falling apart. They're nylon gears, and they were just disintegrating. There were bits of them everywhere. So we put some new nylon gears on from PJME. The drive gear to the oil pump needed changing. So we've done all that, put it back together. Ran it again for another 15 minutes on the dyno just to make sure fuel and power was good, and that is going out on Monday. CB500T is finally done. I'll do a video on this just on its own, but you might, the eagle-eyed, notice that there's a new set of carburettors in there. They're not the original Honda ones. They've come from Makuni Oz. What a drama getting those across here. I ordered 2 carburettors as a kit for 500T. 10 days later when the box arrives, I open the box and there's 1 carburettor in it. So we had to get another one sent through. Anyway, Makuni Oz were absolutely brilliant at sorting the problem out. So I won't complain about them at all. Problems happen, it's how they get sorted that's more important, and they were superb at getting that sorted. But it's got Mikuni VM carburetors on now. All the problems of running it have gone. As soon as we fitted those, and as soon as we hit the starter button, it started, ran beautifully, idles nicely, and we've been out riding it. Harris Z. It's quite a thing, is this. The problem we've got at the moment is the electrics had been hacked into it. The owner bought it as a bike that didn't really work, but he was happy that it was a good bike. So we've had a look into it. The electrics have just been butchered a little bit by somebody who obviously wasn't quite sure where or what they were doing. So they'd cut power to the dash. Nothing's working on the key. We've started putting power into separate circuits here and there, and we've got power coming through. So we're happy that we can sort that out. This little YSR 80 is finally done. Again, I will genuinely do a separate little video on this one. This has been such a headache to get sorted out, but we have finally got there with it, and it's running really nicely. So that's where we are. Again, just far too busy and far too full, but we will get some of these bikes out over the next week, and we'll give ourselves a bit of space again. Few more booked in. Friday today, I don't think we've got any bikes coming in, so me and Oscar can crack on and work on a few of these and get them out the door. We've got 3 bikes leaving us today, so that'll make things a bit easier by next week. And fingers crossed, that'll be it for the weekend. Get me dyno running would be nice. We'll see how we go with that. Anyway, have a good weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.